Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. We are the Trio of Positivity podcast. I'm Christian, co-host, and I'm also joined by my other co-host, Boopin and Miller. Boys, how are you this weekend?
Yabba dabba doo, baby.
Oh, God, yabba dabba doo.
A little
Boopin.
tired, but excited to talk about the show.
We
Bears.
are a Chicago Bears podcast hoping to bring some positivity into your life. It has been difficult to find, but holy shit, boys. It is going to be an interesting conversation today. There's a lot to get under, but before we do that, we need to get our social plug going. You can find us on Facebook at Trio of Positivity Podcast. You can find us at X at Trio Positivity, on YouTube, Trio of Positivity Podcast, and at TikTok, Trio Positivity, which, funny enough, I want you guys to know that we did post our first ever TikTok, and by God, we have 0 views and we have 0 followers. So we are doing fantastic on that aspect. We're going to see if we can continue the grind.
China has all our beautiful faces.
Oh, God damn it. All right. It did not take long.
We maybe have
Is it
some
official?
billboards.
Is it official? It's not the U. But okay, question for you. So in Twitter, you tweet. What do you do in TikTok? Do you tick or you do talk?
Tick
Which
and
one is
you
it?
talk.
Guys, we're so old. We cannot. Guys, I apologize for our listeners that have to deal with this. All right. It is a Bears Victory Tuesday. Our agenda for today is we're going to talk about Week 11 in the NFL. We're going to go ahead and recap the Bears versus Vikings game, which was a doozy of a game. We're going to give our positivity score recap, and then we're going to look into the following matchup, which is going to be Bears versus Steelers, give our prediction, and as always, we end our show with a fantasy recap. So let's get the show started.
Guys, Dad's coming back to town. Papa's coming back. Aaron Rodgers? Oh, wow.
Do you not realize that that's so far low in the agenda that you cannot give a tease like that yet? I have
Papa's
so many
coming
jokes.
home. He never comes home. He went to get cigarettes and never came home. He's coming back.
I have so many jokes, and you kind of took one of them away from me, so I'm very disappointed. But before we get to that game and before we talk about our landlord, let's go ahead and talk about Week 11. Boys, one of you guys want to start us off? What were your thoughts of Week 11 so far?
Is Kansas City going to miss the playoffs? They're 5-5 right now. They have losses to the Chargers. They've losses to the Broncos. And they have losses to the Jaguars, all of which have better records than them. Interesting conundrum. Remember, they're going to have a first place schedule, so they got some doozies coming up, including the Colts this week. So,
not only that, they're tied with Texans and Baltimore at 5-5.
Yeah. They're saying only one of Baltimore or
Steelers.
Baltimore will
Baltimore
likely make the
Steelers.
playoffs. But great segue, people. Let's look at playoff odds since we're talking about playoffs already. The Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Texans, they're all 10-plus win teams from last year. They're all sitting at 500 with 5 losses, 15 losses between them. That's more L's between them than throughout their entire 2024 campaign. I thought that was interesting. We'll kind of cover that. But talking about playoffs and talking about our very own Bears, they're currently at 58%, 59% shot at the playoffs. But if we win this week, boys, you guys ready for this? We'll have a 69% chance of making the playoffs.
God, that's such a great number. That is such a great number.
Not 69 anymore. It's
Love that number.
7.
Aww.
I saw a clip on YouTube of there was a
I did
basketball game and kids were going nuts
so
for a free throw. Jesus. For me, I talked a little bit about it. You guys laughed when we were talking about the MVP, and I said, we got to watch Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen had himself a freaking game. He played against the Bucks and had 3 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns. I mean, if he continues anything similar to that performance, I think he will run away with that MVP.
Bills have been interesting this year. They're not that great. I think they're 6-4. I think, if I'm not
7-3.
mistaken,
7-3.
Like they've been like the games they look bad. They look really bad. And there's games like this where they freaking show up. I don't know what's going on with that team. Like, did you expect them to run over some teams?
They don't have a good defense.
And they have not. So
yeah, they lost against the Dolphins, which was that's a loss. And then I don't know how I feel about the Falcons. The Falcons, they lost 24-14, but then they have route wins. They beat the Jets 30-10. They beat the Saints 31-19. Panthers 40-9. So like,
I mean, their big
win
win
was divisional losses, right?
That was their big signature win.
Would you say that's a signature win now, though, after what you said that they might miss the playoffs?
Still the Chiefs.
Yeah, you'd still keep them there?
They're not missing the playoff. This is all bullshit.
Well, speaking of missing the playoffs and getting in playoff in the conversations of playoff, I had a question for you guys. There's a lot of teams up there in the standings that have winning records. If we were to kind of just do a quick once over of the teams, Broncos, Patriots, Colts, Steelers, Bills, Chargers, and Jaguars are projected to be in the playoffs. On the AFC side, the NFC, it's Eagles, Rams, Bears, Bucks, Seahawks, Packers, and 49ers getting in there at the end. Who would you say is considered a fraud? And what I mean by fraud is that their record is high, but they are not playing up to that record.
This answer is pretty easy and self-explanatory for me. You just changed the question last minute. It had nothing to do with playoffs. Question that you posed was winning record.
No,
and the biggest fraud
is the winning record. Yeah, so my mistake. I meant to show those teams.
Biggest fraud right now is the Carolina Panthers. No one knows who they are. 1 minute they're winning games 30-0 against Atlanta. The next minute they're losing to the Saints. So they are a minus 42 in point differential. And keep in mind, this is including a 30-0 victory over Atlanta. So, I mean, Carolina Panthers probably the biggest frauds out there with the winning record, I would imagine. Even though they got wins against the Packers, but we'll see how that goes down the line. See if they can keep it up.
Yeah, my bad for changing it. I kind of wanted to transition from the playoff conversation. So, Boopin, go ahead.
Chris, I got you. I know the answer you're looking for, and I'm going to humor you. It's the Bears. They have a -6 points differential, and we are 7-3, and we are leading the division. I think that's what you wanted. But since you want stats, let me give you some stats, my brother. Takeaways, right? The Bears lead the team in takeaways per game. Rushing offense, we are the second best rushing offense out there. Total offense, we are the third best team out there. So, yes, we have a -6 differential, but that doesn't tell you the whole picture. Some of these other stats do.
Interesting, because I was actually not going to pick the Bears, so thank you for assuming. And you know what they say about the word assuming. I'm actually going to say the LA Chargers for me. They're 7-4 right now, but I feel like they won early. You know, they had like 3 straight, and then they lose against the Colts, and then they win 3 straight, and then they get blown out by the Jags. Like, I don't know what it is with them. It's just like, I don't know if it's good teams. Like, they lost against the Giants, and we know where they're at that point. Lost against the Commanders. They made a huge signing, some say. And some say. And then to lose against the Jaguars, but they beat the Chiefs, which Miller kind of put up there, and then they beat the Steelers as well. So I was actually going to go more with the Chargers. I feel like they should be, them being 7-4, I feel like they should be kind of like a little bit higher. But I think you guys were talking the plus minus on the other teams. Chargers are just +8.
They also are having injury issues with their
good
left and right tackle.
Yeah.
If you watch that one Sunday Night Football game, you'll see that PFF says they had the bottom of the barrel.
They are legit like starting 7th and 8th tackle. So like forget the starters, backup, second backups. These are third and fourth backups. Some of them are picking off the street and starting these days.
Yep. So if you guys listen to that and you guys agree or disagree with any of us, let us know in the comments. We'll be happy to read some of those when we get our episode live. So, boys, let's get to the meat of the episode. We have the Bears versus Vikings. The Bears win 19-17, and for the first time since it was said in a press conference a long time ago, we are officially kings of the North for 1 week. With the loss of the Lions, we have sole possession of first. Bears have won 3 straight for the second time this season.
Whoop whoop.
Which again we are streaking. Caleb Williams went 16 of 32 with 193 yards. Swift 21 carries, 90 rushing yards. Kmet led the team in receiving, which we're going to talk a little bit about that, with 45 yards, 5 receptions. Sewell got 10 tackles to lead the game there. So, got a couple questions for you guys. But before we get into the questions, we have to talk about probably one of my favorite segments. We're going to have the clock up and running here in a bit, but it is time for Miller's Glazing Minute. Now, if you are new to the show, Miller gets 1 minute uninterrupted to glaze about anything he wants. Typically, it's Caleb Williams. But let's see what he has. We are going to play probably one of my favorite jingles. It's catchy. And then we hand it off to Miller. So here we go.
It's Miller's Glazing Minute, brought to you by the Trio of Positivity Podcast.
Is the timer going to show up? Oh, okay.
No,
I didn't know. Excuse me. Starting off great. Happy birthday to you. Caleb Williams is his birthday today. 23 years old. Diving into 24.
24. You're already wrong. Start over. You're already wrong.
Close.
Jesus
Whatever.
Christ.
All I am hearing these days is blah, 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 blah. Caleb can't win without turnovers. Blah, 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 blah. While it is factual, he can't, and the Bears are leading the league in turnovers at this moment. Maybe we should start to focus on what Caleb isn't doing, and that's turning the ball over, because we are taking it away, but the offense isn't turning it over. He has 10 interceptions in 27 games. That is a rate of 1.1% of dropbacks. This year, he has 4 interceptions and is a top 5 player with at least 10 games played. So he's not turning the ball over. So while Caleb is having the beneficiary of having a defense with the most turnovers, like I mentioned, we should be focusing on the fact that he isn't turning the ball over. Because if he was to turn over the ball, it would be a different season in general. And I'd be
And he's gone over his minute, even with the interruption. I gave him a little bit more since I had to cut him off since he was already factually wrong on that. Did not get a chance to finish.
But
again. You know what?
I would have been perfect.
Streak.
Technically, I was
had
done,
a good streak of
but
being
I wanted
under.
to add a little more tidbit.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
I needed to glaze
you know what they say about tidbit.
You know?
The glazing
I'm under
was
the weather.
Not,
Give me a break. I wasn't on my
was not
game
there.
today.
Yeah. You know what, Miller? You're not wrong about that statement. I think we can kind of nitpick a lot when it comes to the offense. And, I'll start because for this game, from what I saw on a couple of the drives, I think for the first quarter, we only had 3 yards. And if I remember seeing what I saw correctly on ESPN2, I think it was 3 and outs and 3 yards and I'm just going to confirm that before I get in trouble for not saying.
Didn't we score and 10
we definitely didn't score 10 points in the first quarter.
We did not.
First half.
So yes, we went 2 drives in the first quarter were 3 and outs. We had 2 yards of offense in the first quarter, and then the third possession we had 6 plays for 18 yards. So kind of leading into that, are you guys worried about the offense? Because what happened there? That's kind of interesting, don't you guys think?
let me answer this question a roundabout way, okay? If you listen to the Ben Johnson's press conference today, he said something. He said, not throwing the ball when there's no separation between wide receiver and the defender, which was interesting to me. Those 50-50 balls that are pretty popular in NFL. He was basically saying we don't throw the balls in those conditions, and he wants to see separation before he throws. And I think it goes. I hope it goes in hand. The way I took it is Miller's stance on like Caleb hasn't turned the ball over, right? Or he sails a pass over his wide receivers sometimes. I was like trying to put two and two together, and I feel like this may be connected. Not trying to throw the ball over, playing cautious football might be a reason while they were a little bit off. Um, in my opinion, the offense definitely looked more inept. I'm gonna give you that. This was probably the worst game I've seen from him. From the offense overall. But just it's a brand of football that's not pretty to look at for sure. But you know, like want to give them um and their defense is legit too. Let's start there. Like, but our offense definitely looked inept, and I'm not concerned. You know, it's another ugly way to win the game, but I'm like happy we got the dub.
I feel like you kind of went all over the place and did not really answer the question, so I'm going to go over to Miller. Miller, you gave your Glazing minute, you gave an interesting stat, and then you kind of saw the offense play how they did. What are your thoughts on the offense?
Another game, another win, and another game. He got it done. It's not pretty. Caleb he makes little improvements every game, but at the end of the day, he's still missing some of his deep throws that we expect him to make, and sometimes he's off kilter. He doesn't have his feet set. He's not ready. Whatever it's gonna be. Sometimes he misses some throws. Sometimes there's drops. That wasn't the fact in the first quarter. I don't think there's drops, but at the end of the game there was. But I mean, overall, he's getting better every day, every game, and you're not going to be perfect. We'll get into some details here shortly on why he had a tough game. And at the end of the day, it's Brian Flores on the other side. He's probably one of the best D coordinators in the league, and they play them a lot. He's played Ben Johnson a lot in the last 3 years, probably 6 times, if not more. And hey.
Yeah, we talked a little bit. We'll get into the next question. I think for me, which it was brought up about, winning games that are last minute wins. I think it there was a season, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was the season Flores got fired that we did have a lot of like one possession lost games.
Yes.
I think we were like 1-5 or 1-6 or something like that for the whole season. Was it? I can't. Don't quote me on which, but the reason I thought about this is because if you flip that record, you'd almost get something similar to what the Bears are doing now with their one possession wins and come from behind wins, where it's like we were hoping to see progress on that end, we didn't, and we're seeing it right off the bat with Ben Johnson. So I've been in the past of a week, given from what I saw last week to this week, I am on the side of we're winning games. Because I had to remember how horrible we were in the past that we weren't winning those one possession games. And now I'll tell you, I'll be very honest with you. When I saw that they scored with 50 seconds left on the clock, I, in my head, thought, that's too much time for us, which is a first. I'm not going to lie. It is a first. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about
before you move forward,
the Vikings defense.
We're now being put in the same category as like the greats, like even like Tom Brady. Every time there's too much time on the clock. I mean, we're just only 10
from
games
a statement.
In. We're feeling it in Chicago right now.
Yeah, from like a statement thing. Yeah, from a statement thing of being able to say that. Yes, I wouldn't necessarily say we're.
Well, I'm
Tom
just
Brady-esque
saying. You just kind of quoted what was quoted.
It's nice.
Hundreds of times with Tom Brady is like there's too much time on the clock.
But okay, let me say it in this way. I was saying it more as a team, as like a whole, instead of like
fuck up.
Caleb
No, you
Williams
weren't,
drive.
you fucking
That's what
idiot.
I meant to say. Yes. Yes, I was. What do you mean?
Talking as a
I felt like it was too much time.
This is what he did. He was like, here's a praise, here's a praise.
You went too far.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Listen, as a team, as an offense, when it was the fourth quarter, you guys praise all of these fourth quarter wins and whatnot. Most of it involves
Caleb Williams.
Running.
Most of it involves
always Caleb, but
he's set the record.
You already had your minute
for comebacks for the Bears.
That's great.
Single season.
Yeah. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. I still don't think that last drive should count for him. But before we get to that point, Miller and I had a great conversation trying to figure out the right way to word this question. But Brian Flores' defense has been known to blitz, and it's been noted in various sources out there that this was the highest rate.
78.
With around 70% of the plays. I think there's other sources that showed 78, but I did find another while we were talking about it that said it was like 70, and then I found one more that says 66 point something. So the number does seem to fluctuate depending on how you want to phrase a question to Google AI. We love Big Cat here.
Is a fucking idiot.
How dare you? So why did you think Brian Flores had to blitz that many times? I think it's a great question. We got to start with Boopin because we kind of know where Miller is going to go off on this point. But Boopin, why do you think Flores raised it up this week?
I mean, that was their ace, right? They played their ace. That's the best unit in the game they had. They used it to get the best chance to win. Their defense did their best for them to have a shot. Like, Caleb was sacked twice. There were 10 tackles for loss against the Bears, which, hasn't happened much this season, to be completely honest. But they played their ace, and they were trying to hide their weakness, which is their offense on the field. So they played their ace. I think that was just a game plan, and C-Dub persevered and overcame.
Yeah, I think when I was looking into the question that was posed into the agenda, I tried to find like some kind of information so that we can actually have something to talk about. And it was very difficult to find anything at the moment when we were talking like related to the game. But then you actually start looking at his history. Apparently he blitzes like 60, 65% of the game.
You literally provided the stats. It said 51% last year.
No, 50. But
no, this season he's been
this
like 44.
season he's increased it again. He's been increasing 44. it. I'll find it again, but supposedly it was at like 61%. And I think one of the reasons was that he wanted to help with injuries or something. So, and I don't know how you do that with injuries, but I'll try to find it again while we're talking. But I would say that he definitely saw something in the offense that is, if you add pressure, I think he was trying to play to his mistakes. But to CW's credit, he really didn't make a mistake this game. He kind of just played bad, but did not play bad with mistakes, which if you look at their quarterback, you can say played bad and made mistakes. So, Miller, your thoughts?
Honestly, I think it's because of the quarterback. No. I'm gonna want to piss people off, even though it's already a good 23 minutes in. So, if they're still watching, then fuck them. Sorry.
Yeah, fuck them the people watching.
No, realistically, I think a lot of it has to do with, I think he needed to change up his scheme. I think Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, more so Ben Johnson, has been very successful against Brian Flores historically with his offenses. So I think this time he, rather than trying to stick what he's typically done in this past, yes, he's a high blitz rate guy, but I think he even wanted to get higher. I think he needed to get more people in the backfield to try to move Caleb off his point, because I think he knew that if Caleb stayed on his point, that he might be able to make passes. So they wanted to move him around with the hopes that he wasn't going to hit the long ball, the long passes, and see the routes clearly. Because you did see there were several times in the game, if you watch, players were open. But the problem is, right before that wide receiver just cut to be wide open, Caleb was having to move because of the pressure. So I think that they had to up the pressure just based on the prior experiences against Ben Johnson.
So I did misspeak. So it looks like Brian Flores so far this season on first and second downs has blitzed them at 51.4%, which if you really think that's a lot. And then there is another stat out there that said that in this recent game on dropbacks, they blitzed 66.7%, which goes to what Miller was saying. I don't necessarily want to say it's because of the quarterback, because I think it's just generally what they see as a whole, as a package on the offensive side. But the fact that this man went from that much to increase it is still incredible. So again, comment your thoughts on that. But now, probably one of my favorite things that I will be able to debate on with you guys is that for whatever fucking reason, the NFL is counting this as a game-winning drive for Caleb Williams. I believe it should be for the kick returner.
Can we just skip this question?
I think he should get. No, we are not skipping this question because this.
I'll shut him down. I
want to get shut, but if it wasn't for that return,
how can you say that?
This game would not be
How could you seriously say that? He's literally led.
What do you mean?
After we've won like 5 games in a row like this, how can you fucking say that?
Hold on, you're telling me though
50 seconds and 3 timeouts.
You said that.
Hold on though.
Chris,
we're talking about giving credit for the game-winning drive. That's what I'm saying. It's not a game-winning drive. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, my question to you is:
are we denying the 61-yard return, or what is it? No, 56-yard return. Sorry.
How can you deny? It's a fact. You can't deny a fact. We're not Republicans. It's a flawed.
What is the definition of a drive?
Sorry. No, it's not even that, Miller. It's a flawed stat. Okay, hang on. Had we lost the game, Chris, would you have said Caleb lost us the game? He lost.
But see, it's a caveat.
Count against him,
it's
right?
a caveat though, because where would he have? Right? But where would he have started if it wasn't for the return? That's what I'm saying.
How the fuck can you say that? How the fuck can you answer
what do you
that?
mean? How
okay,
can you?
35 yard. I don't know what was the average for the game.
So he had to drive 40 yards for a kick.
A little less than that. Yeah.
No, you know what? We'll make it like this. He drove the amount that was the return. He would have needed to drive that amount back in 50 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he lost that, then yeah, that's a loss.
No. Like forget it. Let's say the return happened. We missed the kick. We lose the game. Does that count on his record?
Like, are you just saying that if he just lost flat?
Like, we missed a kick.
If he just lost flat, then it's not a game-winning drive. I don't know what
I know, but like, will it be on his
kick,
record that he did not convert on a game-winning?
Didn't do enough to lead us to a drive.
If he led us to a drive that would have resulted into a game-winning kick, then that's a game-winning drive. I don't know.
That's not how NFL.
If he missed the kick, then no, he did not lead us to a game-winning drive.
Okay, that's
both.
Point.
No, but okay, this stat is the way it works. It's a flawed stat. I'll agree with you there. But if no matter what happens, Caleb can drive to the 20-yard line. Cairo misses the kick. Santos misses the kick. It's on him. If they make a kick from a 60-yard line,
literally had him right there. He said I was blaming both Caleb and Cairo for missing the kick. So now you have to give credit to Caleb and Cairo for Caleb moving the ball forward.
No, what I'm saying is if Caleb moved the ball forward, the 56 yards that the kick return was, and then he missed the kick, then yes, you blame both of them. In the sense of like, because the stat is flawed, like Boopin is saying, he would not get credit. It would not count as a game-winning drive because he lost.
I'm just sick of Bears fans just being fucking, I don't know what, short memory, dementia patients. We are winning games and we are fucking finding ways to like break apart shit like this.
Please explain to me how this stat is flawed.
We won a game. Can we just fucking
when an offense,
that's what your man over here said,
has the ball last and they drive the field, whether that field is 5 yards or 50 yards, you still drive the field to get into field goal range and you score the points at last second. That is called a game-winning drive.
No, I called it flawed because it goes on the quarterback, regardless of what happens. The punt returner can have a good kick. They can run the ball and kick the field goal. The quarterback gets credit for it. He can drive to the 20-yard line. The kick is missed. He gets counted against him that he lost the game-winning drive. Like, it gets counted on his stat when it's not 100% his stat. That's why I'm saying.
No, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, they don't say he's.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. They don't say that he's 5 of 9 on game-winning drive. They say that he has X amount of game-winning drives in the fourth or overtime. They do not have a
drives against him.
He's 5 of 6. Yeah, they don't count drives against. Now that I'm thinking about it,
but
I'll look it up. I'm pretty sure I've heard them being like he's 5 of 9.
You know who would be the first one to point that out?
No, I don't think that's true.
He'd be the first one to point it out that he didn't drive him far enough.
But like in that sense, though, if it was the same scenario, and the ball gets kicked and he misses,
you would.
I don't blame Caleb.
Bullshit. Yes, you would.
No.
Yes, you would. He didn't drive it close enough. He didn't drive it close enough is your argument. I would 100% get it.
But that wouldn't be on Caleb. That would be more on the coach.
Somehow. I promise
that would be more on the coach. No. See, you guys just think... See, here's the thing. You guys enjoy when people hate on Caleb because... No. Listen. Here's the thing. You guys enjoy for people to hate on Caleb because then you guys can go and be a knight in shining armor and be like, Caleb, look at me. I'm defending your honor. When in reality, it's just a question. Like, he did not do anything in addition to that drive to help them
As I stated previously in text chains that we were together, he took the snap and made a solid handoff. He did not do that all game. He did not do that all game on Sunday. So that you have to give him credit. He took the snap and handed it off.
You're laughing because you know how stupid of a statement that is. Jesus Christ. And I hate saying stupid, but fuck.
Oh, like these Bears fans deserve Dylan Gabriel or whatever.
These Bears fans, Jesus.
Yeah.
These Bears fans, who's sounding Republican now? Good Lord. All right. Let's get to the next question, which is probably going to be my favorite to hear what you guys have. Who would you say is your standout performer of the game for the offense? Mind you, look how I posed the question this week, and yet someone still answered it wrong. But let's see what we got. Miller, you can start us off.
Technically, when we get the ball, it could be considered an offensive play. So my standout performer is Devin Duvernay for that 56-yard kick return that put us in position for the game-winning field goal after Caleb's drive.
But I thought you said
no. Game-winning drive by Caleb Williams.
That's what game-winning drive by Caleb
Williams. My answer. You said standout performer for offense.
Yes, that's what
on the Minnesota offense was limited because of Chicago our defense. We held them to 27.3% on third down, and we had 2 turnovers.
Look 3 bullet points down. What is the question 3 bullet points down?
On the defense, yes. I have a different answer for that one. Okay, I'll switch my answers. No, I can't. I'm only praising defense today. I'm sorry. I gave them a lot of shit. We gave them a lot of shit. We're
not talking about the defense yet. You already fucked up the question. We're just gonna move.
Ask better questions.
Pretty straightforward.
What do you mean? It's literally labeled.
He just copies and pastes.
It's literally labeled. Literally labeled, and I made sure to remove any S's so that you guys would have to choose one.
Sometimes
and you choose
he
a whole
adds
fucking
S's,
defense on offense.
Depending on what he wants to
Okay, what's your answer, Chris? What's your answer, Chris? Say it. Fucking say it.
Oh, that would be a
fucking
good one.
Say it, please.
For me, it's Swift.
Not Cairo?
Yeah.
Wait, the inconsistent run game?
The thing is that I'm looking at the carries, and then there's just like a lot of stuff that happens. And even when one guy got the touchdown, I don't know. I just feel like the rushing game is kind of, even though the numbers are not there or where we want them to be. I think we said as a team we wanted plus 120. As a team, we would say that's a good run game. We're at 140, so that's why I'm sticking with Swift. He got 90 on 21 carries.
fucking.
We are inconsistent, but that would say that would be my standout performer.
6 out of 7 over 100 yards. We're inconsistent.
Chris, I have a question for you. Genuine question. I'm not even fucking hating. What would Caleb Williams have to do for you to like bring his name up in this section? Like what? 500 yards, 7 touchdowns. What are we talking about here?
Just what give was me a range. Completion percentage this game?
Not good.
I don't know.
It's the same as 50. McCarthy.
It was not good. So why would you say that?
No. I'm genuinely asking.
But listen to. But this is what I'm trying to ask. If you want me to pick Caleb, this game was not Caleb.
I said that earlier, but my question is genuinely, what stats does he have to have for you to even consider him? Like 500 yards, 7 touchdowns, whatever.
I don't know. Maybe 1 touchdown would be great.
We had a touchdown. What does it matter if he has a touchdown?
We're back to that. Yeah,
maybe
you're asking me
back to that again.
What would I have
that
to do
day,
to choose Caleb?
Maybe that
and I just gave you answers and you're not happy with
it. Could be Chris's glazing minute.
What would be the opposite of glaze? De-seasoning?
De-glaze.
De-glaze. No, but in being very honest with you, though, with a stat line of 16 and 32 and 193, you would say that was a standout performance on offense?
Bro, the game was 16-19. Like, what do you expect?
Okay, but answer the question. Was he a standout performer of the game?
I said this was the worst game he's played.
Okay, so for you to say that, well, what would it take for him to be considered a standout performer of the game? I literally just answered, and I said, well, he's got to be higher on the completion percentage, throw a touchdown or 2. I don't think it's that difficult.
Okay. Good to know.
And he's done it before. We've agreed that I said, oh yeah, he played great. Like, and one thing to point out during Miller's glazing minute, he's not producing turnovers, which is great. If he's producing turnovers, then this would be a whole different conversation.
Still not standout, but great. Good to know.
What is the question?
I was genuinely asking you a question.
The question is literally, who would you say was a standout performer of the game?
Baby, I don't want to fight.
Guys, we don't put Baby in the corner.
All right. We don't put Baby in the bathtub either, but we still fucking do it too. All right. Let's talk about Santos for a bit. I know we touched on it. When I put this question up, I didn't realize what happened in Washington, but Moody signed off the practice squad with Washington. How would you say that Santos played, though he did go 4-5, but he did get the game winner? There was an interesting video out there that if you saw, like the holder spun the ball one last twitch before he kicked it, that might have caused it to go left. I don't know how true that is, but his kick did go left on a indoor field. But how would you guys feel? Did he redeem himself, or is he redeeming himself?
Redeeming himself from what?
He's been hit or miss. Yeah.
From the previous conversations that we had where we were saying there was a kicker battle, we've had it though. There was genuine talks of a kicker controversy early on. We can't say
he's
no. That's
fine. I mean, he kicked a 54-yard field goal, so props to him.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, his team needs to learn how to close, and we haven't really figured out how to do that. I mean, we had a 45-yard field goal. It would have put us up, what was that, 19-10, basically sealed the game, and he missed it. And that's why Caleb needed to lead another game-winning drive for us.
Yeah, of course.
To be very honest, he's been hit or miss. But we think we'll upgrade our kicker next year.
I don't think we will. I think
free agent or draft. So I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will. I'll put Chug on the line.
I don't know. I don't know if we really feel like
so
we have to.
Why do you think we should upgrade our kicker? Or why do you think we should go through a kicker competition? Because we did that a few years ago and it was a fucking shit show. So please explain why you want to do this again.
I think when we play better teams and, like we can't, 4-5 is not good enough to win games. Even almost wasn't good enough to win this game, right? We need someone who we can rely on to reliably kick under a certain distance, like under 50. I know Santos is like 90% under 50, but those misses I think will start to count when we are in the conversations about playoffs and higher. I think those things will come in clutch, and I don't think we can have a kicker that's like inconsistent.
Miller, I think you and I are going to be on the same pace or same thought process of this, but I feel like at this point it kind of shows that they don't plan on him wanting to kick 50 yards or more. I think they feel like the offense should get them close enough for 40 pluses or for 40 unders and stuff. I mean, yeah, he missed one, but when's the last time we had a kicker go 4 of 5 or 5 of 5 in a game where
like
the scoreline was what it was?
Moody. I don't know. 4.
How many did Moody make that week?
4 or 5 with the block. I don't know, man. I think this is Cairo.
Right.
It's one of his worst years in a while. He's shooting at about 80% clip right now, but he's 100% for extra points. And there's a lot of kicker issues throughout the league right now. And yes, Cairo has his limitations, but I don't know that we necessarily want to cut bait, especially when we're going to have to take a cap hit, because I think we just extended him a few years, like a year or so ago. So there's something to be said for a kicker that knows how to kick at Soldier Field. We saw that with Robbie. We know things can go south fast. So I don't know that you want to cut bait on a guy, because I don't want to go through the competition that we had 2 years ago. You can't just go out and get a Brandon Aubrey. Like,
the game in question was against the Saints where Moody went 4 of 4. His long was 39. Just to bring that.
he was definitely not 4 of 4.
I agree with Miller. No, that's the last one that he went 4 of 4, because the previous game was with, I just looked it up. It was with the Giants. He didn't play. So that was the only one where I could see where he kicked 4. I mean, I could go further back, but I think it's beside the point. Yeah, he was 2 of 2 on the extra points too. But all right. Let us know what you think. We just went over the offense as a whole. Give us a comment. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this, what should count as a game-winning drive. I think that's probably one of the best conversations that's out there, because Miller is still milking it as much as possible. But we have to see the other side of the coin. We're going to switch over to the defense. Boys, I have a question for you. Did the defense blow a 13-point lead, or was Minnesota in the process of making a comeback?
Okay, I guess I'm talking. It's tough. I think they got some momentum at the fourth quarter off of that punt return that led to a quick touchdown. I'm not going to put that on the defense. That was mostly on special teams. And then they played a little prevent. I'm not going to blame this on the defense, but I'm not going to sit here in la-la land and say the defense played well. They got 2 turnovers, but at the end of the day, if you actually watch this fucking game, you know that it had nothing to do with the defense, and it had everything to do with their quarterback, because he couldn't hit the backside of a fucking barn. And that's why that we won this game, because he was missing wide receiver after wide receiver, underthrowing wide receiver after wide receiver. It was pretty fucking shitty. I don't think the Bears blew it. I think Minnesota was getting a little bit of momentum. And when you have a team and you're not able to put them away, that's typically what happens. And unfortunately, the Bears were not able to put them away.
So about agree with Miller there too. In the final quarter, Caleb was 2 for 6 for 38 yards, and he was sacked twice. That was his stat line. So they had some momentum. Our offense didn't show up. I honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. Weirdly was remembering the game in the week 1 game where they freaking came back and won. Like, I was like, oh my god, like the city will freaking, they'll start burning down the city if this happens again. But I think that's growth, right? We've seen this team before. We see their tendency. How do we overcome what they do to win the game? And that was the impressive part to me. Yes, the defense for the most part, like I said, like I don't think I'm gonna jump over like walls to get them accolades here, but they were respectable with all the injuries and everything they got going on. They held them to like 27 some percent on the third down, got 2 turnovers. Like, I'm not saying they're the best defense out there, but they did their job. And in the fourth quarter, I think they just wanted it more. They had a little bit of momentum, and they scored some points, which we knew they would. They have some playmakers out there too. So, it was expected. Like, I think defense played solid.
I remembered about week 1 too, and I saw how they came back. So yeah, during the game, I was kind of thinking that it's the little stuff that Minnesota was doing to kind of get to where they were getting. So I will give maybe a 51-49 advantage to Minnesota making it a comeback, but I agree with Miller too. I think turnovers are great and whatnot, but I think if we blew that game, that would have shown again just how those last couple of quarter drives, the missed field goal or the offense not producing, it's to help avoid situations like this of what happened. The only difference is we came out on the winning end when the clock struck 0. So I actually agree with kind of both of your statements there. Moving on to the final question, because we don't want to get too much into the horribleness that is the defense. What would you say is a standout performer of the defense? It's whoever wants it. We'll go ahead, Boopin.
It's our safety, Kevin Byard. The league leader in interceptions, Kevin Byard.
I would have said J.J. McCarthy,
Miller, what about you?
but I would have gotten yelled at. So I'll go Nashawn Wright, who got that huge interception end of half. If he doesn't pick that ball off, who knows where we're at right now, because they were driving down the field. They were almost in field goal range. So, hell yeah.
I actually agree with Miller. I think that interception was bigger than the other one. That could also have been a swinging point of the game too, if they got points on that drive. So I'm glad we were able to stop it there. So that is our recap of Bears Vikings, where Bears win 19-17. Leave a comment, let us know what you think. But we're gonna get to our favorite segment. I say our because we've been doing this for a while now. We're going to bring up the positivity score recap. If you're new here, we give a positivity score of 0 to 10 of where we see this Bears team going. People will give you different answers on what their numbers mean. Others will give you the smart answer, like me, where they use a grading scale. So, on the previous week, Miller gave this gave them a 7. Boopin gave them a 7. I was at a 6. Has it changed? Let's find out. Let's start
we were 6-7.
I hate you so much with a passion. Let's just because of that, we're gonna start with Miller. Miller, you were at a 7 last week. Where are you?
Gonna go up a little bit. Score? We get the wins. I'm going up 7.5.
Ooh,
7.5. Is this the highest you've been?
I was 8 at one point. I mean, it's the best record we've had in a while.
Boopin. It really is. Boopin.
Hey, we're on a 3-game winning streak for the second time this season, guys. After losing 9 games in a row, whatever it was at the end of last season, 2 seasons ago. Jesus Christ. Let's see. I was at a 7. I'm going to stay at a 7. If it was a win, happy about that. But some opportunities for the team to be maybe a little bit more fluid on the offense. Some opportunities. I'm going to stay at a 7.
So I'm only doing this because there was a stat out there that impressed me enough that I have to give it a 6.5.
Oh, I thought you were going to go down.
No, there's a stat out there that when I heard it, I'm like, that deserves some
Caleb
kind
Williams
of credit.
5 game-winning drives.
Ben Johnson has more road wins than Flus did the whole career he was here. Flus only had 3 career road wins. Johnson has 4.
Damn.
That stat alone gives it half a point up. I have him at 6.5 for the year.
I swear to God, I thought you were going to say 5.5.
I mean, you got to be excited.
6.5.
You got to be a little excited. I mean, you look around. Our division is shit.
I mean,
you don't know who any of these teams are.
No, well, hold on. I don't think our division is shit per se. There's still a chance we get three in the postseason.
No chance in hell.
We can't
I
say
would
that
put
there
so
isn't.
much money on that. You're getting 2 at the top. 2 most.
Said there's still a chance.
You think we're getting 3?
No.
You think Lions are out? You think Lions and Packers? Who would be out?
I'm not going to answer that.
No, us.
Yeah,
Us.
there you go.
Us.
See?
Us.
If you guys want, on the comment section, give us your positivity score. Again, keep it 0 to 10. I don't want to see no 50s, no 60s, or none of this other, or 6, 7, none of that. If I see a 6, 7, I'm banning you. I'm putting it out there.
Just so you know, 0 means we are Titans level bad, and 10 means we are winning the Super Bowl.
Or 0 is an F,
which some people here have said 10.
10's an A.
0 to 5 is an F. 6
so dumb.
See, someone
0 to 5 all is the same.
Someone got it. All right, boys, we're going to look into next week. The Bears take on the Steelers at Soldier Field. It is a noon kickoff. According to ESPN bets, bet responsibly, the Bears are favorite at -3. I believe that is going to change if some news comes out. Which I
wait, hang on, off topic, but I thought ESPN bet was no longer a thing. After the NBA controversy, they are disbanding.
Oh, brother, yes.
No, I
ESPN
they're getting
ESPN is still a thing.
The information, the data from
there's outsourcing. Yeah, somewhere else. They're outsourcing is what I heard, but I couldn't.
Oh, well, I just went on their website for the matchup, and that's what I saw. So, but they're still a sport book. So why are they getting? Are they getting their sport book numbers from?
I think because they want to be like a journalist organization. I think that's betting
such a waste of money
in-house.
if they did that. Whatever.
Because they were literally talking about the NBA controversy while the NBA ticker was showing them the odds of the game.
Yeah, but that's not really. That's just a bad look. That's not a reason to change their whole outfit of what is the gambling space like that. We can probably discuss that at a different time.
We'll do a short.
Sure. Bears are -3. Over under is 45.5. I haven't seen the weather, but typical questions to ask for the group. What do the Bears need to do to win this game? Boopin, what do you got?
Pray.
Oh,
Pray that Jalen Johnson and Edwards return somehow. And we do the impossible task of fucking beating Rodgers in Soldier Field. We haven't done that since 2013.
We need to contain TJ Watt somehow so that he can't put some pressure on the quarterback. We remember what happened against the Raiders with what's his name dominating our offensive line. So TJ Watt is good enough to do that.
Yeah, I think TJ Watt. I don't know why, but I feel like TJ Watt has the potential to have a huge game if everything kind of goes. If they hold in that run, if that run game can just go off a little bit and that play action is there, I mean, we might have something. I feel like I've said that a couple weeks in a row now, but I do feel like the team plays better when the play action is in full effect. I feel like CW's numbers go up that way. But that defensive line does scare me a bit, where they might not blitz and TJ Watt just fucking does whatever he wants and gets to the end. So I guess in turn, Miller, is that what the Steelers need to do to win the game?
Yeah. They need to give it to their big boy.
I feel like that's the easiest
fucking tight end that's like 300 pounds. Darnell Washington. Let him run over our defense. No, I mean, I don't know. This Steeler team isn't that intimidating to me, to be honest. Their defense is beatable. Their offense is very limited. Look at what they just demolished Cincinnati, but look at what they look at how they looked out in LA. Like, you don't know what team you're going to get. I mean, every team seems like it has a flaw this year. And Steelers have their flaws. We'll see what happens on Sunday, but if they put pressure on Caleb and they start getting some sacks or they get a turnover, they have a chance at winning. But as we talked about, he doesn't turn the ball over.
This could be a very close game or a blowout. Yeah, this could be a very close game or it could be a blowout. I think
I'm more scared than Miller. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I was just gonna say I think it's gonna depend on who the quarterback is for the Steelers to win the game. Reports are that Rodgers has broken his wrist.
But it's a non-throwing hand, I think.
It's the non-throwing hand, and he wants to play, which is...
Oh, he loves playing here. He will play.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he's trying to collect rent, he's going to want to be at Soldier Field.
Just answer this question and go to the next one, please. Thank you.
I think...
Good Lord.
I think their defense, like, even though it hasn't been a game wrecker, I feel like has been showing up in the last 3 games. They have they've scored like 2 touchdowns. They have 11 sacks in the last 3 games. Like, I know, like they don't look traditional. They don't play traditionally. I think they have a lot of veterans that have a lot of bandwidth on how they can play. They know their assignments, but they can do a lot more with their assignment. That's how I think TJ like sometimes wrecks the games. Is he gets to go after the quarterback sometimes, like with his assignment done. But I'm scared. I think like Rodgers will probably play better, even with injured. I think this defense is playing better than people think. So they have people to stop our offense, I think.
So with that being said, I don't know who added this question, but do we want to see Rodgers play against the Bears?
Honestly, no. I'd rather play Mason Rudolph. Get the W.
Listen, for me, it was 2021 week 6 when Rodgers says he still owns us. From then, the Bears have only won 13 games. They've lost 45. So, yes, I want to see him play, and yes, I want us to get the dog shit out of him.
Oh, this is the Ravens game all over again. We want Lamar.
We live in the fucking city of Chicago, okay? You know what we have? Back in the 90s, we had a team up in Michigan. We needed to get past him. Fast forward to 2015, we had a team down in Missouri that we needed to get past on the north side. Our teams have kryptonite, and in order to get to the next level, you need to beat kryptonite. You want him to play with a broken hand. That basically means he's not going to be under center, because if he's got a broken wrist and they snap the ball, he's not going to be able to hold it with a broken wrist. So if he's limited, you want him to play, because 1, he's going to be limited, and 2, you need to beat him. You need to show that this is a new team and beat their. You want him to play.
Yeah.
Don't be a bitch.
If daddy's coming home, we got to make sure he doesn't come back. So I agree 100%. All right. With that, we're going to go into our predictions. We did an episode where we had our preseason predictions, and now we go through it during the season. So far, we are all tied at 7-3 with our previous numbers.
Just like the Bears.
Just like the Bears. I don't know if that's karma or not, but we'll find out. Boopin took the loss. Miller and I got the W's on the last game. For this game in particular, Miller predicted a loss in preseason, while Boopin and I predicted a win. Boopin, where are we going? What is your prediction for this Bears versus Steelers game?
I said loss against the Vikes, and we pulled one through. Kudos to you guys for calling that correctly. I'm going to go with the same technique. I'm scared. I think this game will be closer, probably decided by a field goal, but I think we end up on the wrong side. We lose 24-21 at home.
I just want you to know, just because you're saying we're losing, you're not getting credit if we win, because that's not how this goes. Okay.
No, that's 100% what I'm doing. I don't care about my record. I care about the Bears' record. So I rather get dinged than they get a win.
I will go next. I actually am sticking with my prediction from the preseason. I have the Bears winning this game, and I have them winning 27-17.
Ooh, blowout.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a blowout, but I think
10 points. That's a blowout. I think it's in the NFL.
Well, some 2-score games are not.
How do you know? Wait, whoa! Don't be putting what I want to choose before I say it.
That was not me.
But yes, I'm gonna have a big W, baby. Let's go for the Bears. I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be 20-17. Bears.
That's such a good scoreline too. All right, let us know your recaps. Let us know your predictions in the comments section. I'm intrigued to see what people are saying. If this goes out, Miller and I will take a grandstand lead at this point, and Boopin will be on a game. Boopin will be on the loss streak. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. All right, let's get into the final segment of the show. It is our fantasy recap. Our 2 fantasy experts here give some thoughts on what you should do with some injuries, as well as who you should be looking for pickups. I will leave the floor to them. Boys, what do we got on the injury end for fantasy?
Ooh, injuries are piling up, especially on the quarterback side. Couple of big ones to talk through. Aaron Rodgers, like we talked about, has his non-throwing hand injured. Dylan Gabriel is in concussion protocol, so you may see Sadur Sanders start again. Michael Penix is done for the year in Atlanta. Kirk Cousins time there. Dart and Jackson Dart for the Giants and CJ Stroud for the Texans are still in protocol, so keep an eye out for that. But like again, the injuries are definitely piling up there. Running back even more concerning. From the Packers, Josh Jacobs is hurt, his knee. Like he plays through a lot, but like they were like really questioning if he can play through this. Jalen Warren, the Pittsburgh running back, was also hurt. He was replaced by Gainwell in the last game. It'll be interesting to see if he plays against us. Definitely would prefer him not to play for Bears' sake. Um, Emari Demercado, who was starting for the Cardinals last week, was also hurt. I'll say some of his replacements in the waivers in a minute. A big one in Atlanta for wide receiver Drake London hurt his knee. He's out at least this week. More to come. I didn't even know he was still in the league. Calvin Ridley, down in Tennessee, had fractured his leg and he's probably out for the year. Tight end Higbee hurt his knee and is probably doubtful for this week.
One thing to add, it's not an injury, but the appeal for Chase came back and they denied it. So Chase is out for one game.
Start D Higgins everywhere. Oh wait, you don't have him. I have him. Pickups. Like the guy that set the NFL record for the most completions in a game, Mr. Jacoby Brissett with the Cardinals. He's a decent pickup, I think. He's basically been one of the few quarterbacks that's been like top 5 in his last 5 starts. So it looks like he's a good start. Lawrence had a good game. Trevor Lawrence against Chargers. If you are needy, there's a couple teams on bye this week. He may be one. If you're feeling spicy, Kirk Cousins, who hasn't done nothing in Atlanta, like there's nothing. Like you can pick up Mason Rudolph if you want. If you think Rodgers will play, there's not much in the quarterback land otherwise to pick up, especially with the bye weeks going on. Running backs, a bunch of backups here again, but they had some role in the last game, so maybe someone there can be the hero for your team this week. In Jacksonville, Bushel Tootin, he played a lot. He scored, I think, but then he left the game for a while. Good news is he came back, finished up the game, but that could be a pickup. He was legit playing over the starter. What's his name? ETN there. So, like, might be worth a stash. Emmanuel Wilson, like we talked about, Josh Jacobs is hurt. He might be the pickup up in Green Bay, especially if Jacobs doesn't go. Another injury, Jalen Warren, like we talked about, may not play. Kenneth Gainwell would be his replacement. DeMarcado would be replaced by Bam Knight in Arizona. And he's on bye this week, but a cheap stash might be Chris Rodriguez Jr. from the Washington. Like, but that running back room has been a mess, but he's got some play last couple of weeks. Wide receiver coming back from bye, Alec Pierce. If he's in the waivers, pick him up. Christian Watson from Green Bay scored a couple touchdowns last game. Like, if he's out there, good time to scoop him up. Michael Wilson with Arizona, again, had 170 yards against me. That's the reason I lost last week. But if he's out there, scoop him up. Might be a good play, especially with Brissett playing the way he is. Darnell Mooney, the last one, London being out. He could be a decent pickup, but again, he hasn't done much this season. Kirk Cousins, all that good stuff. It's a risky pickup, but it's still a pickup there. Tight ends, I think coming back from the bye, Juwan Johnson is still available. If he's available, he's been solid even with the quarterback change there. Dalton Schultz with Davis Mills playing has been I think 9 targets or over the last couple of games. So he's definitely worth looking at as well. Those are the big pickups. Did I miss any, Miller?
You got them all and more, baby.
Miller is hanging in for dear life, so we want to shout him out for sticking around for this episode. Speaking of shout outs, shout out to the twins. They had a birthday a couple days ago. So shout out to them. The big 4, but they're twins, so they're really one big 8-year-old. So fucking dumb. But with that, we are done for today. Thank you guys so much. We are on the road to 100 subscribers. We're at 23 on YouTube. Hey, if you're number 25, maybe we'll shout you out during the episode. We'll see. I don't know. We're trying to get some gimmies here. We are looking forward to next week. Thank you guys so much for your time. Let's get
another win, baby.
In the way. King of the North here. King of the North. Let's enjoy it while we can. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. We appreciate any and all feedback. Maybe someday in the near future, we can see some positivity coming out of Chicago sports. We are actually seeing positivity.
Never let it rest.
Keep it there. Bye-bye.